This podcast is brought to you by all of the anime addicts the world over. If you want to support the podcast, you can head over to aapodcast.com/join or Patreon. Listen, it's Halloween season. We're going to be talking a lot of Halloween spoopy things in the after parties and the hobby addicts. Maybe even in the hentai episodes. You don't know, but you'll never find out unless you head over to AAA podcast/join or Patreon. You can help us out and keep this show running just the way you like it. And now, let's get that show started.
Get ready! You're about to listen to the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at aapodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Oh, welcome into the podcast, episode 648 of the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. It's a beautiful day here on October 16th. Thank you all for tuning in, wherever you're listening from. If you're in the car, drive safely. If you're watching on Twitch, thank you for joining us. If you're scuba diving, hold your breath. I am Mitsugi, and I am joined by the illustrious Caroline. She's here. She's basically keeping the show afloat today because Mason is not here. Caroline, how are you?
Oh, thank you. For whatever reason, I'm feeling very argumentative today, not towards you or to anyone, but to myself. Literally, because if you remember in the Hobby Addicts episode, for whatever reason, I just get bent out of shape over everything. So I hope I have gotten my really silly frustrations out of the way and we can enjoy a nice podcast today. And by the way,
yes,
I have gotten a haircut.
Oh, and it looks very fantastic.
It looks a lot better now, so yay.
And you look very warm in your shawl, or whatever that's called.
Yes, thank you very much.
So,
I'm not sure what to call it either. It's like a blanket.
A blanket shawl. Yeah. Pancake would call it a gremlin. She would say, I'm wearing my gremlin today. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in. If you want to help out the podcast, you can subscribe over on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen, of course. Thanks you so much. And if you want to watch us live, twitch.tv/AAA Podcast, live Sundays at 5 p.m. Welcome to all of the audience that is slowly trickling in as we're always late. And so they arrive late. And that's fair, honestly. You can also find us on Twitter. We're on TikTok, where Caroline drops nuke bombs that stir up the world every once in a while. So you definitely want to check out TikTok, Facebook, and of course Discord. From the website, you can get to Discord on the top bar, and that's where all the cool shit happens. And I saw there was a seasonal watch party last night for the new season. At I was playing games or something, and there were like 15 people in there. They were all watching anime together, so that's really great. And
yeah,
I'd love to see it. One more quick PSA. We're not going to harp about on this for too long, but I did get the Amazon affiliates section of the website launched with great difficulty. I think it looks fantastic. If you've always wanted to subscribe to our extra content, but you just don't have the woolongs for it, I totally get it. Times are tough, for me too, for everybody. But here's your chance, people. So www.supporttheaddicts.com. I'll say it again, supporttheaddicts.com, not hard to remember. That will get you directly to our Amazon affiliate section of the website. All you really need to do is I'm going to buy some stuff on Amazon that I buy every week, every month. Go to that link, click one of our links, and it will take you to Amazon. Once you're on Amazon using that link, anything you buy on Amazon gets the podcast a royalty. You don't lose any. It doesn't cost you more. It doesn't reduce your service from Amazon. It only takes you an extra click to go through our website first. It'll redirect you to the app or to the desktop version of Amazon. And it's maybe you clicked on video games and then PlayStation games at supporttheaddicts.com. You can get your PlayStation game if you want, or you can just go shop for pillows or food or whatever you want to buy on Amazon. And everything you buy within 24 hours of accessing Amazon through our link gets the podcast a royalty. So really all that does is let you support us without having to subscribe. And you stick a little, you know what? I'm not afraid to say it. You're giving a middle finger to Amazon. You're like, hey, look, I was going to go to Amazon anyway to buy this, but now I'm going to give you $1 less, and we're going to give $1 more to my beloved Anime Addicts podcast. So definitely think everybody should bookmark supporttheaddicts.com, and really every single time you buy anything on Amazon, you should go through that link. That's what I'm telling people. It would help out the show a lot. It's already started, but that's the PSA, and we're going to keep giving you guys a great show. And speaking of which, today we have the Random Recommender. So this fun topic that I think, you guys have done this before, is that right?
Yes. So Mason and I did this game over the summertime. I know I mentioned. Let me see, because I did make note of what episode we did this last in. Let me just see for a second here.
Yeah. So
it was
a long time ago, I guess.
No, not that long ago.
While you're looking that up, we're going to sort our My Anime lists chronologically by review, and then we're going to roll a random number generator, and we're going to recommend anime to you that come up on that random number, whether we remember it or not, whether it's a hentai or not, whether it's bad or good. You just don't know what we're going to get, so that's going to be fun. Later on, we also
so it's episode 630. Mason and I played this game in episode 630.
Wow, so that was about 4 months ago.
Yeah, so it's not been that long, but you haven't played this game, and I'm interested to see how you will do.
It's going to be funny because I've got 720 anime on my anime list, and I probably remember about 150 of them. so that's going to be interesting. Later on after the news break, we're going to do an Anime Addicts Confessional, so there are some pretty interesting submissions. And then, of course, the review of Lycoris Recoil. I don't know. I was supposed to keep that right. I don't know why it matters. It's whatever. It's a stupid name. Caroline, anything you want to say before we get rolling?
Just that I only started the recording just now because I forgot to.
Well, how could you?
I know.
Shows over people.
Such a shame.
All right.
It was when you were talking about the Amazon affiliates. That's when I pressed record, just so you know, but I made a note of it for later. Anywho, so let's get to the big news of the week, shall we?
All right, let's do it.
It's time for big news of the week.
Well, it is. We knew this from a while ago, but so the creator, the manga creator of Yu-Gi-Oh passed away back in July. So there was a previous story about the manga creator Kazuki Takahashi, whose real name is Kazuo Takahashi, who died from accidental drowning in Okinawa, and they found the body in Nago City, which is down in Okinawa, on July 6th. And I think we discussed that back in July, and it was really sad because a lot of us have watched Yu-Gi-Oh on TV, and we like it. And of course, it's sad when people die, of course. But new details have come out that pretty much make the story a little happier. I don't know. I guess it's not a happy story, but so in Okinawa, there was a dangerous riptide that was drowning 3 people that were in a popular diving spot. So people will go diving, they'll go snorkeling, and a riptide can carry you away, it can drown you, pull you under the water, and suffocate you or whatever. And Takahashi, the author, actually it is now been confirmed through eyewitness reports that he actually jumped in an attempt to save these people that were about to drown. So it's unfortunate that he himself drowned, but he actually went out like the straight up shonen hero that he is. I mean, honestly, It was fucking. It's a sad story, but like the heroism is breathtaking. Even right now, just talking about it. I mean, it's and ultimately the people didn't end up dying. A Navy SEALs, a U.S. Army officer was nearby and actually rescued those 3 people that were drowning. But the fact that Takahashi actually gave up his life to try to save people is the most epic fucking shonen, just legend crap I can think of. I mean,
yeah, it's definitely a very admirable thing that he went and did to put himself in, to go and try to help.
Yeah.
Though I think we should also say, if you see people drowning and you are not a certified lifeguard or somebody who has the tools to maneuver into a riptide, you are only putting yourself and more people into danger by adding yourself to it. So
yeah,
as much as we, of course, feel for him and his family to have passed away in such a way, but also feel very happy that he had such strong character to go and try to do that. Be safe when
of course.
Do that.
I mean, now that you've said that, it kind of makes me wonder what kind of qualifications he actually had to think that he might be able to rescue them. Maybe he was.
I think anybody
swimmer.
who is. I don't know. I feel like it's hard to not want to help someone and you see them in trouble. I feel like even if I saw somebody drowning, thinking like, oh, I can help them. Like, let me go in and help them. But everyone is the same in a riptide unless you have the tools to help. So it's really unfortunate that, he lost his life, but, he still did an admirable thing.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it to people's attention because, the world is a tough place sometimes, and not everybody has that level of just heroism and admiration to their name. And a guy who wrote shonen manga, which are full of heroes, I just picture the guy that
came full circle.
Yeah, he just lived it. He lived that mantra all the way to the end in his creations and in real life, and it just seems very rare to have that level of character. And it makes me even more sad that a guy like that passed away. But in the end, he probably doesn't regret it. He probably thinks he was doing the right thing, and anyway. But I just wanted to bring it up because that's a follow up from a prior story that added a happy twist to it, sort of just on his legacy.
Makes it pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really see anything way too interesting in particular that I really wanted to talk about, but Anime NYC is coming up next month on November 18th to 20th. We were there last year, and we had a fantastic time. We had a great panel, and we did apply to go again, but unfortunately, we were turned down for Anime NYC. We are waiting to hear if we have press passes to see if you will go anyway, but actually for me personally, even if we do get the press passes, I might not go because my sister is having a Friendsgiving that weekend, so I might end up going to that instead anyway. But anyway, if we do get press passes, Mason might still go, so we'll see about that. And there will be many appearances from some interesting guests at Anime NYC that I figured I might as well just call out to see if anybody would be going and might be interested to see these people, like Japanese voice actor Setsuo Ito, who, if you are not familiar, he voiced the character of Mob in Mob Psycho 100. So he will be doing a panel conducted by Crunchyroll and Warner Brothers Japan and hold an autograph session, or actually multiple sessions throughout the weekend for fans. Then there's also, so I think that's the only major Japanese voice actor that's going to be there that I saw on the list, or that I personally found interesting. But of course, there's going to be more than a couple great English voice actors as well. So there's Adam MacArthur, who voiced Yuji in Jujutsu Kaisen. He'll be doing some autograph sessions and apparently will be on some panels as well. And then there's Johnny Young Bosch, or is that how you say his name? Bosch?
Johnny Young Bosch, yeah.
Yeah, he'll be there. And he voiced Vash the Stampede and Trigun, Lelouch and Code Geass, Kaneda and Akira, Ichigo and Bleach, and Izaya and Durarara. So he will be there all throughout the weekend on panels and doing autograph sessions as well. And then there's Max Middleman, who voiced Saitama in One Punch Man and Ritsu in Mob Psycho 100. Will also be all weekend doing panels and autographs. So if you are going to Anime NYC, then those would definitely be some people I would want to try and visit. But I imagine those lines will be very long for autographs.
Yeah, and I've met Johnny Young Bosch a couple times, and he's a really friendly guy. So he would definitely be the kind of guy that would take the extra time to talk with somebody, or just be a nice... It makes you feel good when people you admire from watching shows or movies or whatever end up being good people in real life. And I definitely think he's in that category. So, at least that's the impression I got. So,
yeah, but there's a long list of other people going to be there too. These are just the ones I personally found interesting, but
sure.
Quite a few other great voice actors will be there too. So if you're going, have a great time. I think I should try to go to some other convention though, because that's the only convention I've ever gone to. And I'm a little bit disappointed that I don't think I'll be going this year, but I really should go to another one.
Bring your anime cells, people. Bring your merchandise. I once brought an anime cell of Onizuka screaming to Steve Bloom at at Otakon one year, and he autographed the anime cell. Actually, he autographed the frame. I had it framed beforehand, and he autographed the frame. He had no idea what the character was, which I think is hilarious. Steve Bloom.
Wait, you just brought him he didn't voice that character?
Oh no, he did.
So he just forgotten all the characters he's voiced.
Yeah, Steve Bloom has done so many voices, but Steve Bloom is a wild guy. Like, he strikes me as a guy that's done a lot of drugs in his life. He just seems like the kind. But he is also, no shit, one of the most genuinely kind people I've ever met. Like, the kind of guy that will redo an hour interview with you because you fucked up the recording the first time. You know, his wife like rescues animals and stuff, and he's just like all for it. That guy is a class act, 100%. If you ever get a chance to go see Steve Bloom in person, I would absolutely do that. Just to hear him talk to you like Spike. It's his real voice. It's fucking awesome. Do you have anything else, Caroline, that you want to throw out there?
No, that was my big news of the week. Okay.
Well, random recommender. This is going to be a very challenging game for me because, we each of us have a My Anime list. I have 724 anime on my list, which is going to make me sound like a badass today because Mason's not here. Mason's at like.
And you're comparing it to my paltry 237.
Well, I do have 11. Well, I'm not really sure how old you are. I'm going to guess I have at least 10 years on you, at least. But Mason's like crushes me. He's like 1,000 anime past me. I don't know how. Oops. I don't know how you could possibly remember all that anime, but we're gonna rank our anime from best to worst as far as our reviews, and then Caroline's gonna do this random number generator. I'm gonna go down the list, and we are going to recommend whatever anime that number represents on our list. And I will say I have hentai on my list, quite a few, because I have been reviewing hentai for the podcast for a long time. So there are probably 100 hentai in this list, at least. So that'll be interesting.
So even if we can't remember what we are talking about very clearly, and even if we actually think whatever we're talking about is absolute crap, we are going to do our best to find some way to recommend it to somebody.
All positivity,
you'll like
all the
this
time.
if you like some horrible animation or something like that.
Or I'm going to end up having to recommend Moe shit.
Yeah, probably. So shall I go first then?
Sure, you can.
All right, let me just get my random number generator set up. Sorry, I have many tabs open, so I'm trying to.
Now, are you recommending this to me?
I'm trying to find some way to recommend it, like to any person in general. Like, you'll like this if you're the type of person that likes blah 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 kind of thing. And so, out of my 237 anime, let's generate a random number, which is number 25. So we are going to be high up on my list here. Okay. Let's see what we got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, drum roll.
Sorry.
Drum roll.
Because my anime list is the names are being blocked, so I can't see what I'm seeing. Okay. Number 25 on my list is My Hero Academia, the 3rd season.
Specifically the 3rd season.
Yes. I gave it an 8.
Good luck with that.
Oh, wait. Oh, no. I forgot. Oh, man. I'm so sorry. I forgot to order my list.
All right.
So that is actually not 25. I thought that was weird. I thought it would be further down than that. I'm so sorry.
All right. We'll try it again.
Yeah. So number 25. As soon as the scores come up. Jesus, man. It's not working.
Where's my Jeopardy sound effect?
Yeah. Okay. Number 25.
Yes, indeed.
Finally. Spirited Away.
Oh my God. What a softball.
I gave it I gave it an 8 out of 10. If you're not familiar with what Spirited Away is.
It's trash.
It is a Studio Ghibli movie, probably one of the most well-known animes of all time. So if you were to go to a random person, there is at least a small possibility they would have heard of this movie if they do not even know about anime, because it has been pushed by Disney a little bit, so they might have seen it through that. And actually, this is not my favorite Ghibli movie. I've only seen it once, and somewhat recently, because I didn't watch it as a kid. But it is a beautiful story, as Ghibli movies often are, with a main character who gets spirited away to a world of spirits. She has to work in a bathhouse to regain her name and to set her parents free from a curse that they were given as they arrived to this mysterious place. So it's just a beautiful story that every anime fan that should have seen once. So if you haven't seen it, that's your recommendation.
Spirited Away. What a tough one. Wow.
Yeah, I know. Okay, now it's your turn. Let me get the random number generator.
It should be between 101 and 724.
Let's see what we got. We got 361.
Oh my god. It's like dead in the middle. This is going to be hilarious because I just know half of these. I might even remember a thing about them. 360. Oh my god. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we covered this. Wow. All right. Number 361 is Tsude Zude Children.
I've not seen this, so I'm interested to hear what you have to say about this.
Yeah, and in English, it's Tsude Zude Children. It's the English title. Wow, what a great anime. So this is a rom-com that is based on a 4-koma manga done by Studio Gokumi. So Studio Gokumi, I don't know what the hell they've done since this. So if I sort this by the release date, the most recent thing they did was Weekend Harem, which you watched some of, Caroline, I believe.
I would remember.
In English, sorry. In Japanese, well, yeah, the English title is World's End Harem.
Oh, okay. Why was it called Weekend Harem?
It's not. I just Shumatsu means weekend, but it also means other things. So I just automatically translated it wrong.
Oh.
So a wonderful tale of unique and fascinating children that flourish into adults and are able to they just fall in love with each other and find adulthood. And various obstacles do arise when you learn about romantic attraction for the first time. But love is just so beautiful that how could you possibly miss out on Tsude Zude Children? With a 7.6 on Mal, it depicts this various scenarios of love coming to fruition, which is probably something that we don't get. I can't remember a goddamn thing about this anime, but the synopsis makes it sound like they're gonna that at least there will be some romance happening, and honestly, that's about all I got. Tsude Zude Children, what the fuck? I don't know.
I feel like this is just a good way to bring up all the anime that you've totally forgotten about and just how mediocre they were.
Yeah, well, this one probably didn't make much of an impression. I mean, it came out in the summer of 2017, so this is 5 years old at this point, and that's too long ago for me. So, oh boy. All right.
All right. Let's get another number here for me. Mm-hmm. From 1 to 237, we got number 59. Uh-oh. Let me pull up my list again.
That could be not so good.
Actually, no, because we are still in the 8s, and this happens to be Demon Slayer. Okay, I wish I would.
You're so generous. I come up with
more interesting things?
You've got a 58 or whatever, and number 58 is still an 8 for you.
Oh, 59, but yes, it's still an 8 because Yeah, but I also have not been subjected to the absolute shit shows that you've had to watch over the past decade. So
listen, I'm not gonna cut you down for that because I have 234 shows at an 8 or higher.
Yeah, well, I wish I can be rolling some more interesting shows that we don't talk about very often, but here I have Spirited Away, which everyone knows, and Demon Slayer, which everyone knows.
Hey, that's why it's random. I think Demon Slayer sucks balls. Convince me.
Okay, so I can agree with you. Actually, no, that's a very strong word. I wouldn't say it sucks balls per se.
I'm just being the devil's
advocate. Very generic, but I have to spin this in a very positive way. Yeah, of course, Demon Slayer is the story of Tanjiro, who lives in a world of Japan that has demons, and they attack his family. He swears revenge on the demons, but he also does it in a very loving way. So he's like very empathetic towards them because we'll get all of their dramatic backstories. And honestly, I was very favorable to the first season. The production is just very good, and I did enjoy it. But I would be lying if I said that it was anything more than just a show. It's really nothing all that special.
You're supposed to be recommending it, Caroline.
You're
like, it's so average and generic.
I'm sorry. Oh, man. Okay.
The artwork is so
You'll
beautiful.
You'll love this show if you love some really cute characters like Nezuko. She's great.
Yep.
Tanjiro is a very likable person. Zenitsu is Zenitsu. And Inosuke can be very funny. I find him to be hilarious. So all those things together with what is a somewhat interesting storyline with that you want Tanjiro to go and become the greatest demon slayer of all time. It's good, even if it is generic in some ways, and sometimes the dialogue is not very good. But overall, it is a good show to watch, especially if you're a shonen fanboy.
And if you stick around for adult Nezuko.
Yeah.
Hubba.
Oh, stop!
Oh, come on. It's not like they don't want you to think Nezuko's hot when she transforms into an adult. I mean, her breasts gain like 20 inches. What do you want me to say? Oh, it's anime. It's anime, isn't it?
Okay, they did it once. It's not as if they were doing it every episode or anything like that.
It's going to happen again for sure. So once is enough. I mean, now if you go on Google and you search adult Nezuko, all you get is like lewds, pretty much. I'm looking at them right now. That's how I know.
This is true.
Yeah.
Well, let's give you your next number.
I hope it's something better than Tsude Children.
It's not. It's number 490.
Oh boy. Heading down the list.
Yep.
490. We're still in the 7s. Here we go. 6s. Oh, boy. Goodness gracious. Oh my god. These are like the worst ever. Jesus Christ. You just missed Keijo, by the way. Keijo is 489.
Oh, man.
Oh my god.
I wanted to hear your thoughts.
All right. So this one is 91 Days.
Ooh, I love that one.
A 2016 anime that I don't remember very much about either. Historical crime drama done by Studio Shuka. So, boy, I think that there are, if you're the person that likes to watch somewhat like grounded in reality, crime, drama, family, action shows, this is the anime for you. Because a lot of anime out there are full of little girls with guns. Not that we're going to talk about that later. And just moe shit.
Boys with guns.
And monsters and all this. But like people will say, oh my God, the monsters are so unrealistic. Girls with guns that guys falling out of like Tokyo Skytree without a parachute and living. None of this makes any sense to me. But 91 Days is like, it is the anime for your dad. It's like, oh, your dad doesn't really get all the anime shit, but he will get crime drama, mob boss families shooting each other up with guns, in the lawless the lawless the town of Lawless, and Angelo Lagusa and all of his like you know what I'm saying, like what, like I'm funny how, like haha funny, like I'm a clown, like I amuse you.
What?
It's okay. Eat your jelly beans.
I don't have any at the moment.
Yeah, so this is, when I'm talking to adults that I think won't gravitate towards anime stuff because they think it's silly or it's dumb or they can't figure out why the eyes are so big or they can't understand why they get like little emotes over their faces or, et cetera, or why people like freak out at nothing and stuff like that. I always recommend Monster because it's a crime suspense thriller.
We're not talking about Monster.
I know,
here.
I know, and I'm getting to it. But 91 Days is another one of those anime where, while not as good as Monster, is another one of those shows that is recommendable to people that ordinarily wouldn't gravitate towards anime. So there you go. I did my best. 91 Days.
I also agree. It's It's one of my favorites. Although I can't say that because it's probably like number 20, maybe 30 on my list. I don't know. But yeah, I love it. I think it should be higher than Suri Duri Children for you because I feel like you would enjoy that much better than that.
Well, I don't remember either of them, and they're both rated about the same. So, Caroline, I hope you get something a little hard. See, I'm getting all these really hard ones, and you're getting like, watch this. You're gonna roll. It's gonna be like, Hunter x Hunter. Like, oh, come on, give me a break.
I have not seen Hunter x Hunter, so that's an impossibility. Okay, so we are going down into the depths.
Yes, let's do it.
Number 229.
Uh-oh, that's like near the bottom.
Remember, I have 237 anime on my list.
Oh my god,
so
it's like near the bottom.
229.
Oh, this is going to be bad. Oh, it's going to be Realist Hero. Realist Hero. Yes, Realist Hero. Come on. Come on, Caroline.
229.
Make it happen. You got to get your whole list loaded.
Oh god, it's Sound of the Sky.
Sora no Oto?
Yeah.
Don't you love this anime?
No, I absolutely despise it. So, a backstory, the reason why I'm laughing is because people in Anime Club will know why. I reference Sound of the Sky as one of my least favorite shows that I've had the displeasure of watching in Anime Club. I freaking hate it.
Okay.
I don't even remember a ton of it, but I was like having the worst time of my life watching this show, which is kind of surprising because you'd think, oh, does it have harems? No. Does it have bland boy main characters that somehow get all the girls? No.
Nope.
Did it have ecchi? No, I don't think so.
Not really.
It's a moe show. It's a moe girl show, and honestly, I don't really even mind moe girl shows all that much. It's just so freaking boring, and it's filled with self-importance. So, now I have to start actually explaining what this show is without any of my personal opinions on it. So, Sound of the Sky is like a show about this world with fake countries. And they are at war with each other. Let me pull up the plot just so I don't get anything wrong here. Okay, so in this world, we have a group of little girls that are in the military for some reason. Basically, they are kind of like characters from Sound Euphonia being placed into the military because they just like playing their trumpets. They just play instruments, and they're in this pretty nice town. It's not really being bothered by the war all that much. It's like a group of 5 girls, all with varying generic personalities. And then you learn a little bit more about the characters. They just go on exploring. They play their trumpets. There's a plot twist that makes an ending happen that I feel like didn't make any sense. But anyway, yeah, definitely. If you like moe girls, this is the show for you. If you like trumpets, the show for you. If you like war shows that have nothing to do with war, this is the show for you. And if you want to understand why I keep on talking about Sound of the Sky and Anime Club and how I compare this show to any other show that I dislike when we watch something for Anime Club, this is the show for you, so you can understand what I talk about. And you can understand why, or not understand why I feel so strongly about this show, because honestly, it's not that awful if taken without my annoyance into account. I don't really know why I hate this show so much. I just do. I just hate it. I gave it a 2.
See, I thought this show was trying to do the K-On! Thing, because this was like not that far after K-On! Came out. It only came out
possible.
Like
the main character does look a lot like the main character of K-On!
The girl Kana, I think she looks just like fucking Yui or whatever her name is. And
I agree.
This came out like 8 months after, and it was like, oh my god, the 4 moe girl like troupe doing things was just like this thing that happened for like a year and a half or 2 years. It's still a thing, but like this anime.
And it's original source material. So they saw K-On! Blow up. And then they're like, okay, let's make a show about K-On! Characters in the military.
Yeah, I'm sure they failed because the popularity of this one is 1,306, and the popularity of K-On! Is 133. So you missed the mark. But, whatever. They can't all be winners. Although you should definitely watch that because Caroline has to tell you so. So go ahead.
I guess so.
So go ahead now.
Sorry.
You do indeed recommend.
There.
So the bottom line is you recommend Sword no Oto, right, for everybody?
Not for everybody, for those specific people that I mentioned. But as I mentioned before, I'm feeling just very irritable today, so that really did not help.
Me too, honestly.
Oh, well, it's getting even worse for you because you're now down to 5:15.
As I pour some more coffee because caffeine's going to help me be caffeine. Nothing will make me less irritable than more caffeine. What was my number? 5:17.
It was 5:15.
Okay, 5:15. Oh, wow. Okay, I actually remember this one.
Wow.
The Misfit of Demon King Academy. To which I gave a 6. See, I'm actually super generous. I'm very much like all the other people on Mal, where like I give pretty much everything like between a 5 and an 8, pretty much. But I guess that is kind of the bell curve for most things. So the Misfit of Demon King Academy was an anime. I actually didn't hate this anime so much. So I'm just gonna a 6 is fine for this. So it's a Silver Link show. It's a school action fantasy about a demon king who basically reincarnates himself. And then is reborn as like a little baby. And then he grows up super quick, which doesn't seem to alarm anybody. Anyway, and then like he joins a school and he gets a harem, basically is what happens. And he's endlessly powerful. So, this is a pretty generic magic show, but I think that it had some pretty decent like action scenes in it. I mean, for people that just love isekai type action with magic and sorcerers and golems and stuff like that, you could potentially really enjoy the Misfit of Demon King Academy, otherwise known as Mao Gakui no Futeki Gosha Shijo Saikyo no Mao no Shishos Tensei Shite Shison Tachi no Gakko e Kayo. That's the Japanese. And honestly, and the girls in this are very cute. And Misha and Sasha are definitely cute anime girls that you will enjoy watching, and you'll wish that you were Anos Valdigod, who
what kind of name is that?
That's his name. His name's Anos Valdigod. He's like
I
he's
thought you said Anos Valdigod.
We can call him Anos if you want. Anus if you want. It's pretty close.
I thought it was anal.
Well, it's not much better. And his parents are really funny because he'll like bring a girl home and they'll be like, "Oh my God, my son is such a player. Like, look at this cute girl." And then he'll bring another girl home and they'll be like, "Oh, 2 girls, how scandalous!" And then like the dad is like never been prouder. It cracks me up. Oh man, it's an okay show. It has some fun action in it. It didn't have you know what? It's fucking great. You should just watch this. It's fantastic. Just don't make me read
I'm
the
sure
Japanese
I love
again.
it.
How can the Japanese be so long? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
what is the direct translation of that?
The Misfit of Demon King Academy, history's strongest demon king reincarnates and goes to school with his descendants. Based on a light novel.
Wait a minute.
If you can imagine.
Are the girls in his harem his descendants?
I don't think they are. In fact, I think one of them's like a homunculus or something. She's not even like a real person. She's like a magic being of some kind, I think. So
okay, because I was just gonna get even worse.
It was okay. Did you not review this with us? I feel like you were around
I wasn't.
this.
No, I came in not too long after, but because I remember you guys reviewing it, but no, it was probably like the year before.
And Captain Avatar from Twitch says, and they're like obsessed with eating like gratin for dinner.
What's gratin?
All gratin. It's like a potato dish, like a cheesy, buttery potatoes. It's tasty.
I like cheesy and buttery potatoes.
I think that's what I think it is. What they're eating, I have no idea, but yes, they do comment about how the gratin is so yummy. I love potatoes. All right, what's next for you,
All right,
Caroline?
well, I mean, I can't get much lower than 229, so let's see what we got here. Okay, number 78. We're going back up, thank God. Just getting my list back up. Sorry.
It's really fine because none of these delays make it into the final episode anyway. I cut them all out.
Okay, number 78
oh my God, another softball for Caroline.
My Dress Up Darling.
Oh no, it's not.
Yes, it is. I have a lot of 8s.
Do you love breasts?
One of them.
Do you love girls that have big breasts and want to dress up like demons and straddle you in a love hotel? This is the anime for you.
Okay, there are a lot of good things about this show, as most people can attest to, except for Mitsuki.
I know.
So
I know.
I like rom-coms unless they get way too annoying. This one doesn't get too annoying because I like the main characters and I think they're fun. And the main goal of the show is not to wait until they get together. It's more like watch their friendship grow as they explore the world of cosplay. And here you have this really cute main character, and here you have her really really dense friend Gojo, who can't take a hint that she likes him, but he also kind of likes her, but he's not comfortable with that
yet. How could he not?
I'm fine with that. Because just because you're a guy with a penis does not mean you have to have sex with somebody. It just doesn't mean that.
But she so obviously wants it. It's so ridiculous. But
he doesn't yet. Let him be
God. Look, Caroline, I'm just gonna be honest with you. If this guy was Dark Schneider, something would have happened. Something would have happened.
But she wouldn't love him because she loves Gojo, not Dark Schneider.
She loves cosplay.
From a totally different anime and universe. Okay. It's just altogether a really fun rom-com, and with some nice production values. If you can get over some ecchi, which honestly, for me, the queen of hating ecchi, it wasn't too much of an issue. I'll say the biggest issue was, I forget her name. It was like the friend. She was also a cosplayer who looks like a child, but, is not a child. And then you have her younger sister who looks like an adult, which is just begging for both of them to be looted in really weird ways. Was not a huge fan of them. And besides, the young-looking cosplayer girl, she is just very irritating. In general. But other than that, I find this to be a really nice anime that you might have heard Mitsugi bash on a little bit because he doesn't like rom-coms, but I do. So if you do, you'll like it. So that's my recommendation.
Listen, if you're at work, if you're working and you listen to this podcast and you even think about Googling Marin Kitagawa ecchi, you might as well just resign beforehand because you are so fired. Oh my God. It's so insane. It's just insane. Like, honestly. All right, look. I just want to say, I just can't get over the fact that in that anime, did she not have him measure her breasts? I was like...
He did.
I'm sorry. Girls are smart. Like, they know a lot of things, and she knows what she's doing. Measure my breasts, please.
You have... Mitsugi, you don't have breasts, so you might not know this, but breast size does play into the size of your clothing.
I understand,
so
but
as they are making custom clothes, there is a reason to measure breasts. And if he's going to make clothes, that is something he has to do, is measure a girl's breasts.
She can measure her own breasts.
No, you cannot!
Okay.
There's a reason why you have other people measure you, because you get measurements wrong.
How about have your mom do it? Okay, we gotta change... We got to change animes because I'm going to lose my job at work for Googling her at home. The ecchi will transcend. What is my next one?
All right, we're going back up.
Can we just talk about Dress Up Darling for the next 20 minutes?
We've already had the pleasure of doing that in our full review.
Okay, what's my next one?
So your number, we're going back up on your list, so that's nice for you. Okay. 178.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. 178. That's going to be some potentially good stuff. We're in the 8 territory. Oh, fuck. Okay. All right. Ginga Kikou Tai Majestic Prince. Majestic Prince is the English title.
I've never heard of this.
It's a sci-fi mecha show from 2013. I covered this when we were in Japan. And Majestic Prince. Okay, what do I reckon? What do I remember about this anime? It's done by Doga Kobo and Studio Orange, which are good studios. And the long and short of Majestic Prince is that what I recall is that this had some of the most blistering mecha combat I think I've ever seen. So like Zone of the Enders style, like fucking, frames just flying around, fucking each other up with swords and guns. And if you are a fan of mecha anime, this is so easy to recommend. I mean, mecha anime have just slipped by the wayside. No one really cares anymore. And when there are mecha shows, sometimes they're not really all that engaging and interesting because one, it's hard to animate mecha because it takes a certain like skill to draw and animate them. But this anime has such crisp, fast combat in it that it is. And aside from that, it has your normal school shit in it. It's got like it's got your school things, that's something that people want to lighten the mood. But but when they get down to business, there is some fucking hardcore ass fighting in this, in mechs, in space, and it is just very intense. In fact, just talking about it kind of makes me want to go watch some of the combat scenes again because it's really quite good. And that's Majestic Prince. I mean, if you want to watch a mecha show that's not like people think, oh, mecha anime, I got to go back to like the 90s or something to get like good mecha shows. You're mostly right, but this one did come out within the last 10 years, and it's definitely recommendable for how exciting and fast the action is. So that's my recommendation. I think it's quite good. There's no
amazing that we actually got a good recommendation from this that not nobody, but like some people might not have heard of before. So, yay. Okay, so my next one, we are going to anime 115.
Can't be much worse. You were at the bottom there for a second.
Yeah, we got Sound of the Sky. Oh, it's Devilman Crybaby.
Oh!
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Nightclub titties that bite people's heads off.
I've talked about Devilman Crybaby a couple times before, and if you remember me ever talking about it, you could probably remember me saying stuff like, it was really good, but I don't know if I could ever watch it again. So Devilman Crybaby, if you are not familiar, is the newest, probably the newest installment of the Devilman series that has been around for a while. I'm not sure what it's originally based on, but there have been incarnations of this back in like the 80s or something like that, right? If I remember correctly.
It could be even older than that, but yeah.
Yeah, even older. Devilman follows the story of, I think the main character's name is like Akira. And
right.
In this world where demons exist and he somehow becomes one, behest from his best friend. And his best friend is like really sadistic and he's not very likable, but Akira absolutely loves him. So they're best friends, and he just becomes half devil, hence the reason why he's known as Devilman. And he is a crybaby because he's a very emotional person. But here's the thing, it is probably one of the most grotesque anime out there. It has very sexual themes. Mm-hmm. You'll see him have a dream where he ejaculates, and they show that
and coats the ceiling.
It's
awesome.
It's so gross.
If he was having sex with a girl at that moment, she would have fired off at him like a bottle rocket. It would have.
It's a lot. It is a lot of sexual content in this show. Do not watch at work at all. Do not show this in front of kids. All. This comes with heavy content warnings for sexual themes and violence because it has all of those things. It's very, very dark because I don't want to like spoil it. I mean, it has been around for the last few years. It's on Netflix if you want to watch it. But if you like dark shit, this is probably one of the darkest things you could watch.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's very good. It has a very interesting art
now because the music's fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, it's very
fantastic. Also, the creator's Go Nagai, who's also like ridiculously famous. So he's done a ton
the original creator,
ton of shit. Oh yeah,
yeah.
Go Nagai is like god tier anime creator, mangaka. So, all right, are we on my last one?
Yeah, we are doing 5, I suppose. So yeah, your last one, and
I hope it's really
we
bad.
will generate another number. Oh, it's 703.
703. Oh my god.
703.
Deep into the pits of hell. Into the pits of hell.
I'm loving that we are ending this with a bang.
We're gonna go see Anime Satan. 703. Oh no. Oh
what
no.
Is it? What is it?
What
is it?
X arm. Oh Jesus. Wow. This is
what score is that? Like, is that a 1 on your list?
A 3.
Oh.
It's snuggled. It's nestled tightly between Super Lovers and Copcraft. In case you care.
Oh.
Which are
so
both
you must not
horrendous.
have a lot of 1s and 2s then.
Well, no. I mean, I'm honestly pretty. Even though I talk a lot of shit, I'm pretty nice. You know, I really only have. I only have 3 2s. I only have 3.
You can only talk the talk, but you cannot walk the walk.
Yeah, I'm a pussy in real life. I only have 3 1s on my list.
So, that just out of curiosity, what are those ones?
Pico Tochico, which is gonna just elicit laughter.
God.
Kakai Sensen.
Oh yeah, you fucking.
Which doesn't deserve a 1, but I just hate it so much.
No.
And Kakai Sensen sequel. It's just fucking terrible.
Oh god.
Oh my god. Okay, X-Arm.
Go ahead.
Wow. Okay. X-Arm. This is yeah. If you love yourself,
recommend it.
Look, this anime is an utter tribute to just fine CG animation. I mean, it is a beautiful splendor of just artistry. You know, when people do anime art at like in school for their art project, and the teacher says that anime is not art, and you get mad at them, just show them X-Arm. They'll change their mind immediately. You know, everything they think about anime is corrected immediately, because X-Arm is a masterpiece of visual splendor. Not only that, it has some of the finest looking characters you've ever seen. Alma, super cute, like sporty girl with the most beautiful like aqua-colored eyes, and then you have Akira, who's just like this he looks like a normal show high school boy, but really he's like an utter badass and a super tech nerd, and it's just so fantastic that by the end of the anime, you will hope that they will all die the most horrible death imaginable. In fact, you may not survive. No, just kidding. All right, wait a second. Wait. Okay, all right. Recalculating. Yeah, but honestly, this is the anime that you want to have on your TV if you want to make sure that your little sister never walks into your bedroom again. She'll say, "What in the fuck are you watching?" And you'll say, "This is X-Arm, bitch." And then she'll say, "Oh my god, it looks so good." And then you'll say, "Yeah," and you can't watch it, and you just kick her out. Just like that. I don't know what to fucking say. This anime has a 2.9 on my anime list. And despite all that, it just shows you how wrong people are. Because this anime is a masterpiece. No matter what you say, no matter what you feel and believe, you're wrong, okay? And that's the facts, Jack. So deal with it.
That was amazing.
Masterpiece. Yeah, of course. What do you think?
I think I'm going to go watch X-Arm now.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Okay, well, that was Random Recommender. Thank you for joining this game, Mitsuki, because as we talked about, we did this once with Mason on episode 630. So,
but we landed on more hentai.
Random recommendations. Go check that out.
We didn't get any hentai.
Yeah,
though.
you said that there would be hentai, Mitsuki.
There are hentai on this list.
Where are the hentai?
I promised hentai. Let's see if I go up from X-Arm. The first hentai, actually, Pigeon Blood, as Pancake sticks her head out. Pigeon Blood is actually below X-Arm.
Pigeon Blood is the name of a hentai?
Oh, yeah. This is... So for those of you that haven't watched our hentai episodes, Pigeon Blood is probably one of the most horrendous, hard-to-watch hentai I've ever seen. And we actually showed Pancake Pigeon Blood, me and Mason did, to just see what her shocked reaction would be to it. because there's
what
stuff.
is so bad about this?
Caroline, I can't even go there. You really don't want me to. Okay, I will in private if you wish, but yeah.
Maybe you could do this game on the hentai episode with
maybe in the after party.
Hentai.
I'll tell you about it.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, with that all said and done, let's get to our weekly trivia question, which I changed from Mitsugi's original question because I didn't like his, and I came up with a better one in my opinion.
You guys do this to me all the time.
No, I never do it.
Suck.
Mason always does it.
That's
but
fair.
Your original question with what kind of source material is Lycoris Recoil based on? I don't know. I think it's kind of boring. So we'll do both.
At least
what
you
kind
said
of source
sorry.
Material? What kind of
So wait a second. Sorry. So those of you that don't know, Caroline's so polite. She actually wrote in brackets, "Sorry, Mitz. I like this question better" on the document that we use. Mason's just like, "Fuck you. I'm gonna delete your shit." Caroline crosses it out.
I don't care how
apologizes.
much time you spend thinking of this question. I'm making a new one. But no. So your original question was, what kind of source material is Lycoris? I always say Lycoris Recoil based on? And my remade question, the licorice flower, referenced by Lycoris Recoil, is also known by what common name? And we will share the answer after the news break.
Hey, Anime Addicts, Mitsugi's here, bringing you your anime news. Getting us started off with a new anime adaptation announcement. The property, the manga, Ojo to Banken-kun, is getting a TV anime in 2023. In English, A Girl and Her Guard Dog. I can only imagine the guard dog is the black-haired boy on the cover of the manga. This manga began serializing in December 2018 and has 2 million copies in print. It's basically about a girl named Isaku who is the daughter of a Yakuza boss, but her parents get killed in a car accident when she's a little kid, and eventually is able to return to a normal life. That is until her guardian and Yakuza underling, Keiya, enters high school right alongside her, even though he's 26 years old, so I don't know how that's going to go down, and vows to protect her from everything in the world. I don't know. Sounds kind of derivative. Girl character joins the school, then randomly some other character that doesn't belong there also joins the school, very coincidentally. Anyway, look out for this coming out in 2023. Next up, the VTuber group, the Shin Sogumi virtual YouTuber group, had to issue an apology on Sunday for being straight up morons for, quote, violating a video streaming platform's regulations. They were streaming the Splatoon 3 video game on Saturday alongside independent VTubers Kikaze, Kimiko, and a bunch of other people. However, as they were painting the surfaces of the game with their paint, or whatever the hell you do in Splatoon, they were also filling the background of the ink using a chroma key to play pornographic videos. So, porn videos were playing through the ink as they were splatting it in Splatoon. Probably an improvement from the original game. Next up, the U.S. Safety Commission takes a look at Chainsaw Man. So Chainsaw Man, of course, just came out last week. The guy's got chainsaws coming out of his face, out of his arms, etc. And the U.S. Consumer Public Safety Commission actually tweeted about the anime saying, "Man made of chainsaws," which pondered a lot of discussion online as the government rarely takes notice of anime in general. I don't know what they could exactly do about Chainsaw Man or why this one is, especially concerning, considering anime in general. But we'll have to see what goes down about that. Probably nothing, but the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission probably doesn't want you to swing chainsaws around wildly in your home or in your backyard. And next up, some fairly big news. The Blue Lock and Prison School creators have launched a new manga. So the official Twitter account of Big Comic Superior Magazine said that Kaneshiro and Hitamoto are launching a new property called Super Ball Girls, which have just a titanic number of insanely hot anime girls in it, from what I can see. The girl with the roller skates and the blue hair is, anyway. So look out for this coming out. I'm sure since these guys tend to get their stuff made into anime, maybe we can look forward to this being made into an anime as well when there's enough of the manga coming out. But for now, the manga is called Super Ball Girls from the creators of Prison School and Blue Lock. This was Meatski, and this was your anime news break. Now time to get back to the podcast right now.
What in the anime hell is this? The podcast is launching an Amazon affiliates page. This better not be some scam.
This is the Pope.
Yo, Pope. This is Anime Satan. What's this I hear about an Amazon affiliates page?
Oh, hey, Mr. S. Well, when people buy things off Amazon, if they use these links, the podcast receives earnings. It might help us fund our podcast merchandise store, buy Caroline jelly beans, or even...
Conquer the world?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, can I buy Moe Girl anime figures for my secret collection?
We do have links to anime figures.
Oh, goody. How about Pocky? Satan loves Pocky.
We have links to Pocky and Japanese canned coffee, too.
Okay. How about...
Why don't you just go visit the website, www.supporttheaddicts.com, and see what all we have.
Sure, why not? I'll head over to www.supporttheaddicts.com just for you, Pope. Say, when are you coming down for a visit? Let's do tea.
Soon, Anime Satan. Very soon. Remember, before you go to Amazon to shop, don't forget to stop at www.supporttheaddicts.com.
ザ・アニメアディクツアノニマスポッドキャストプレゼンツカズオ vs ザ・キャットバス
What do you got for number one?
I have the cat bus from My Neighbor Totoro. Shichi Kokoyama Hospital.
Okay.
That's where the cat bus goes.
Yeah, but like, what are the cat bus's combat abilities?
It has the most powerful headlights in history on its eyeballs. It could blind you drastically with its eyeballs.
That's the worst.
It can run on telephone wires. You know how nimble that is? That agility.
All right,
such
you know
agility,
what?
such grace. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Does the cat bus not have about 10 legs?
Does it have 10 legs? Yes, true.
Do cats have claws?
Yeah.
How many claws does a cat have on every paw?
Oh, I don't know, like
It's 5.
5? Okay.
That is 50 razor sharp blades coming
But
at you.
look at it.
It's like a bowling ball covered in butcher knives. It's coming at your ass. Yeah, that cat bus is terrifying. And that son of a bitch is coming at you.
It does look terrifying.
It's literally screaming all the time. It would take you to the Shichi Kokoyama Hospital after it beats your ass.
It beat your ass and take you to the hospital?
Yeah.
And now back to the podcast.
I thought it was so funny. I actually flashed the the snippet of our document where you changed my trivia question.
Well,
okay.
I forgot to tell you, so I decided I'd make a note.
Anyway, so the licorice flower. Wow, it's a flower? Referenced by Lycoris Recoil is also known by what common name? The red spider lily, aka red magic lily, corpse flower, or equinox flower. Wow.
Yeah, it's that stereotypical Japanese flower that is used to represent death in every anime that you've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
So, like, I remember in The Promised Neverland, that flower, same flower.
Is that
That's
the same?
why they're called licorice.
Have you ever watched Rurouni Kenshin at all? Anything from that?
No.
All right. Well, in the OVA of Rurouni Kenshin, Kenshin kills a lot of people because he, used to be like a mass murderer, basically, for lack of a better word. And but he like feels sad about it, sort of. So he'll like leave a flower on people, and I think it's the same flower, the red flower.
You know what I heard is that in those in between parts of the episode of each episode, where they do like a little
the in betweens,
fan art of
the
in betweens, the eye catches. Yes, that's what I was talking about. Apparently, in one of the episodes of Lycoris Recoil, one of the eye catches was the girl eating the flower.
Oh.
And there was some controversy in that because they had to change the in-between because the red spider lily flower is poisonous. And they did not want to get people inspired to eat it themselves. So they had to change it, which I'm like, what were you thinking? Having the girls eat the flower, that is poisonous.
This is a random side note, but a lot of plants are poisonous. You should not be eating plants that you're not sure about because some of them are flat out like just touching them will kill you. So you should definitely not be messing with
We
plants.
are filled with PSAs today. Don't swim in dangerous waters and don't eat flowers.
Yeah, go Google the rosary pea. You'll never eat a random plant again. I'll just tell you that right now. All right. Well, we do have some people do write Anime Addicts confessionals into the podcast. And so I have, there are quite a few old ones. I only pick the ones that are like really entertaining. At least the ones that are a little bit more entertaining. So we're going to do some anime confessionals right now. And I got my Pope hat on, so let's roll it. Okay, the first confession is from Kiryu Christian, Dearest Pope. So this is from a submission from like a year ago. Dearest Pope, recently I've come to realize that my previous confessions were not up to your approval. This desire for your forgiveness and warm embrace has begun to plague my dreams. In my dream book, you will now find entries detailing my own self-punishment for my sins. My unwilling transformation into a moe girl who must now feel the, quote, full heat of the flames, burns the potential for a great isekai anime out of my future. I actually have no idea what that means. Tears of joy for the church will be shed, and my most recent entry details the Gilgamesh-style never-ending weapon arsenal of the most shiny bald heads from the highest tier of the congregation that will single the sparkle out of my moe eyeballs.
Singe.
Thank you. The Pope can't read. Please, Pope, forgive me. I will say, Kiryu Christian, that you have corrected your path, and the light of hope is bright in your future. Next up, the ambassador of moe. I simply had to confess, it was a dark, stormy night. A poor teenager was simply watching Bleach when he was hit with an urge. Always, as I was saying, the boy simply wanted something more, and then it took hold of him. Ecchi anime was waiting for him around the corner. Like a drug dealer, after he makes his final sale to a loyal customer, they poured the beast! They poured into his life like rats. Redo of Healer, High School DxD. Akeno is awesome. It completely changed him. How can I be forgiven? I fear it is too late.
These are some wacky submissions.
I mean, honestly, more realistically, what I would say is that your name is the ambassador of moe. That's your screen name. And so you will burn in the hellfire forever. And not only will I kick you into the pit of hell, but I will use sharp, pointy boots that will hurt you very much when you fall. And, that's pretty much the end of it. Oh.
This examples that he mentioned was not moe. Redo of Healer and High School DxD are definitely not moe.
No, I know, but he's the ambassador of moe. And so he must go into the pit of hell with the rest of the filth.
Huh, that's fair.
Amen. There you go. Boy, that was a rough one. If you guys want to submit a confessional, I will do my best to entertain you. Just make sure that they're juicy. Not too juicy though. There were a couple that we had that I just couldn't read. I couldn't subject poor Caroline to all
Thanks.
That. Some of them were
not without jelly beans at the ready, probably, right?
No, some of them would have made this podcast rated R for sure. And hearing about people's orgasms.
Why are you so
naughty?
Why are you so weird?
Oh wow! Would you like to show my very small audience at the moment what you're dressed up like right now, Pancake? No. Oh, she's too embarrassed. She's wearing her Halloween.
What's going on?
She's wearing her Halloween costume and she's dressed as Sailor Mini Moon right now. In wig,
no way!
Full wig and everything. Come on, you don't want to show people? Oh, she's too shy. Now I am going to Halloween as, wait for it, Sailor Mars in 4-inch heels.
Great.
And bald. I'm going to be bald.
Oh God.
I'm going to be bald with facial shoes. I'm going to be bald with facial hair and 4-inch heels. Yeah.
You are not going to be able to wear those without practice. Oh, wow, that looks great.
There we go. Well, go put your makeup on then.
No, you look great.
Well. Anyway, so yes, they love it. Yeah.
I'm going to be dressed up as a scarecrow. That's my costume.
Well, then I'm sure that'll be fantastic, and I expect photos.
Oh, I will. But I'll probably end up wearing my ghost costume like I did last year for the podcast.
See, I'm aiming for funniest costume at this Halloween party, and I figured being a bald, bearded Sailor Mars with 4-inch heels might get that done. So
I'll be the cutest.
You might be the cutest, Pancake, but I will be the most frightening. That's for sure.
That's what Halloween is all about.
Oh, yeah. Sailor Mars. Yeah. Moon Prism. Okay.
That's not Sailor Mars. That's not what she says.
No, but she's dressed up like Minnie Moon. Okay. Anyway, we have mailbags to get to, so why don't we hit that?
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime.
Mailbag.
If you want to submit a mailbag, go to AAApodcast.com and click the mailbag button and send us any kind of question that you have stirring around in your mind, like Gem99, who says, "Hi, AAA host. As we head into fall, I am not ready to give up on summer quite yet. Are there any anime shows about the beach/ocean that you enjoyed and recommend? Love listening to the show. Thanks." Mitsugi, what do you got?
So this was kind of hard, honestly. I know of a lot of these shows, but technically they don't do much for me because anime just loves to use the beach as an excuse to have like a filler episode. And
yeah,
I don't know.
There are not a lot of great beach shows that I remember.
So a lot of people will say Grand Blue or whatever is probably fine. People like that. But for me, I haven't seen that. So for me, I'm going to go with Suisei no Gargantia, or Gargantia of the Verdurious Planet, which was a sci-fi original anime that came out, I'm going to say around 2014 because I was in Japan at that time. And it's a pretty interesting world-building show where the world is the planet is flooded. I don't think it's the Earth. I'm not sure, but it might be. The planet is flooded, and they're living on these boats, and and there's creatures in the ocean that that are fantasy based, and there's a very incredible plot twist at the end of that anime. But before you get to the plot twist, it is a pretty interesting show that is it's just nice to be dropped into a fantasy world that glitters and shines like the ocean and has some interesting characters. And it's not the best anime on earth, but it is at least interesting. So I'm gonna say that. Oh, and the Captain Avatar on Twitch says it is the Earth. So. It's just the Earth after and way in the future. What did you come up with?
Well, as I mentioned, I couldn't really think of any actual shows that are based around the beach and the ocean that I really enjoyed and recommended. But actually, as much as I personally wasn't a fan of binge watching 2 cores of the Aquatope on White Sand, it does have nice summer vibes as it's set in Okinawa. And a small dose of it should be good if you're just looking for, something summery and nice about the beach. Especially since the first few episodes did convince me to pass it in the first place. So it's not as if it's completely bad. And if it wasn't for the fact that I was binge watching 24 episodes in one go, I probably would have liked it a lot better than I expressed in the review and how I remember it. So I would recommend that if you just want to give that a try. Otherwise, as Mitsuki mentioned, Grand Blue, it's about a college scuba diving club. And I've only seen a few episodes. I never finished it, but you might like it. A lot of people do. So give that a try as well.
And they drink a lot of beer or something?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. Okay. Yeah. And the next mailbag is from Raggedy Doctor. What's up, Addicts? Hope all is well. I've noticed that since anime has gotten more popular, more people are willing to wear their anime fandom on their sleeves. Literally. I used to see the odd Dragon Ball Z shirts at the gym, but now on the street, I see people wearing stuff from One Piece to Berserk to Soul Eater to Princess Mononoke. It's heartwarming to see the spread of what used to be a niche part of the culture while I never hid my love of anime, I was never that open about it until this more recent shift in the zeitgeist. Anyway, sorry for the rambling, and thank you for helping make my anime addiction that much worse, and you're welcome. Yeah, I was in high school, dating myself, I don't really care. I was in high school in the early 2000s. And if you were a fan of anime, you could get anything from bullied to swirlied in the toilet to, just like people wouldn't want to hang out with you. And so back then, people were pretty reluctant to advertise, how much anime they watched or whether or not they watched it or not. And to be honest with you, that was the same with a lot of things like Pokemon, Magic the Gathering. These are all things that I was into, but didn't really openly advertise them. Nowadays, it's so easy for people. They're like, oh, I can just wear my My Hero shirt to school and nobody will kick the shit out of you. You're just it's almost like they're like, oh, My Hero, probably no one even bats an eye at it. So it is pretty neat, to see that. And I don't know if you have the same experience as Caroline. You're a little younger, so.
Oh, yeah, I've definitely seen a lot of people wearing anime stuff recently. Although I can't have the same comparison for, as you do, because I probably didn't really notice all that much anime stuff back when I was in high school, and I probably, and even then it wasn't as, pointed out as it probably was in your school days. But still, I do think it's nice that a lot of people are able to just represent their favorite shows and all that. Me personally, I don't really wear a lot of anime stuff. I do have a Mob Psycho 100 t-shirt, and that's pretty, it's not incredibly obvious what it is at first. It's not as if having the full character of Mob on there. It's masked in shadow and all that. But even so, I'm a little bit nervous about wearing it because people actually, that's kind of ridiculous. It's a ridiculous reason to be nervous of wearing it, but I still have it. I do wear it on occasion, so yeah.
I don't have a lot of anime apparel. I think it's probably, I think it has to do with the fact that it was just hard to get away with it when I was young, and so the extent of the stuff I would wear in public is I have a Capsule Corp hoodie. I have a gym shirt with the 8-6 from Initial D on it, that's about it, really. I mean, honestly, if I want to spend money on anime stuff, it's usually anime sales, which means it's a giant purchase, but, that's pretty much it for me. All right, we have reached the review portion of the podcast here, so we're going to review Lycoris Recoil, which is an anime that I failed. This was a weird season because normally the stuff I pick is tends to be not very good, but this particular season, which was, by the way, the summer of 2022, so I guess that's the last season, I think 3 out of the 4 listener picks were mine, ones that I had failed, and so it was kind of a weird season, and I don't really usually expect that. But Lycoris Recoil, I actually watched a fair amount of this before I failed it, and I never thought it was a terrible anime, but there were just better things at that time to pass. But it's as I say, it's a 2022 summer anime that you can watch on Crunchyroll or Verve, and it's directed by Shingo Adachi, who really hasn't done much directing other than this. And Studio A1 Pictures, which I find to be hit or miss. Sometimes their stuff's really good, sometimes it isn't. But in this anime, there are a number of terrorist acts in Japan that have the number of terrorist acts in Japan have never been lower, thanks to this syndicate called the Direct Attack, or the DA. It's an organization that raises orphaned girls as killers to carry out assassinations under their Lycoris program, which I don't get. It's named after a flower, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it just sounds like licorice, like the candy to me, but whatever. Takina Inoue is one such girl who is rather exceptional, and she, however, gets into some hot water, because she's somewhat insubordinate, and she gets her transferred out of the DA program, and but she reluctantly arrives at a new base of operations, which is Lyco Rico, which is a cafe that's in disguise that operates and has a lot of these girls at it, and they kind of, do their own thing, I guess. This is an original anime from A1 Pictures. So, Caroline, what were your thoughts before you dove into this one?
Well, I mean, I saw a lot of talk about it on our Discord, but I didn't really remember much from what you talked about during impressions. And, when I see talk about something I've never seen on Discord, I typically don't remember what they're talking about because I'm taking everything out of context. So really, sure. I did not know anything about Lycoris Recoil going into it. But it definitely seemed like a lot of people enjoyed watching it.
For my part, I watched about 4 episodes of this before I failed it. So, I mean, I was so on the fence about it that it actually took that extra episode for me to, to let it go or whatever. So, I mean, I had a pretty good sense of what I was getting into. It to me, it was a more bubbly than most girl assassin anime, I guess as I would put it. But would you recommend the anime though, Caroline? We haven't really talked about this much, so I don't really know which way you're leaning.
Yeah, it's a maybe. I really don't know, actually, because it has a lot of great stuff and a lot of mediocre stuff. I really liked the dialogue in this show. I feel like the back and forth between especially the 2 main characters, to be very good. I liked those main characters, Takina and Chisato. They're enjoyable. Even if Takina at the first seems like the stereotypical bland character in an anime, like what is it, like a kudere? Like the character that just doesn't, I don't know, I can't keep track, but at first she seems like the ultra serious, not really talkative kind of character, but she really grows as a character during the season, and their friendship is so nice, and I just like how they bounce off each other. They have some interesting ideas in this show, like I like secret organizations that keep the peace and under the noses of the public. I like that idea. And it looks great. Like, it's an A1 Picture show. Typically, they do have this really nice looking style to them. And the overall character designs are really good too. But I'm a type of person who gets stuck on plot holes and unexplained details, and there are quite a few here, and I could not get over them. That's all I could think about when I was watching it. Also, I feel like the tone should have been a little bit more serious in places, like when we're talking about a show where you have these high school-aged girls assassinating people that are about to cause problems for people in Japan. I feel like they could act a little bit more mature than they do. Because just so many, a lot of the surrounding characters outside of the main ones are just irritating. They're not good. They're bad, and I don't like them. And it's because of them, and also a little bit of the pacing, maybe. As sometimes I was getting a little bit bored during it. That I can't full-heartedly recommend it for everyone. But I will say it does have really good main characters and dialogue, and it looks great. So if that's all that you need, then I recommend it.
Yeah, I'm also a maybe, honestly. To me, it's just a basic action anime with above-average animation and pretty good style and good-looking characters. I think it's kind of funny. It's an original anime, but it's not very original. There's not, it is original in the sense that it has no manga or light novel or whatever behind it, but at the same time, nothing about this is original at all. The girl assassin with guns thing has been done to death. There's a lot of these shows out there. I mean, most people, that's the one example out. Most people know Gunslinger Girl, for example. That's pretty prevalent. And then the girls being based at some kind of an underperforming side business like a cafe or something is also done to death. There's almost always some cover organization that they all hang out at some cafe and drink coffee and shit. Also, Chisato not wanting to kill people is also done to death.
Yeah, exactly but I actually thought that it wasn't as irritating. Okay, last example, this happened in Platinum End. I hate the main character and his inability to kill anyone, especially since that would have solved all the problems in that show. So he just killed this one person, that would solve the entire problem. But at least for Chisato, it's not all that irritating because she has the abilities to back up, like being able to do people without killing them.
Well, we'll get into that because I don't totally agree, and that's fine. But even though I don't think this anime is all that like original or groundbreaking,
yeah,
it does have some good action scenes. I did think that they got kind of old, frankly. As it went on, I can only watch Chisato dodge bullets so many times until it's just not interesting anymore. Also, pretty much all the girls in the show are borderline pointless except for like 3 of them, which is Chisato, Takina, and maybe the hacker Kurumi. That's pretty much everybody else is just like they're there to like shoot guns, but they have no role in the anime really. And there were a lot of really ridiculously unrealistic things happening in this anime that we'll also talk about. One
realistic thing they did get was magazines and needing to change them and running out of bullets. That happens a lot, which I actually kind of appreciated.
I mean, except that they're like firing a bajillion bullets and they're wearing like schoolgirl outfits for half of it. Like, where are you keeping all these fucking rounds of ammo?
They have their bags.
God damn.
Their school bags.
Oh my god. Bullets. All right, well, we'll get into it. I'm gonna say maybe, and
Yeah, it's hard to recommend this one.
Yeah, I mean,
there are good things in it, but a lot of not so great things.
I think
it's a mix.
I think for the jaded anime fan that's been around for a while, like this anime isn't gonna do much for you. Like it's like, oh, Gunslinger Girl, Kite, like a million other shows. Like there's a ton of these anime with where girls are like, fighting or being assassins, and it's just like, it's not really. And by the way, Kite is like a much more visceral, savage show with frankly better action scenes. Even though the Kite is very hard to recommend because it's super not. It's very. There's a lot of like stuff in Kite that like people would look at you sideways if you recommended it and they watched it because it's just full of like objectionable content that goes beyond violence, like sexual stuff. Anyway, let's get into spoilers.
Yeah, but this one is at least a good starter and like good for newer anime fans, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if they haven't seen all these other anime and to them they're not burned out on girls with guns, then for sure it's decent if that's what they're looking for.
Spoilers are coming. Oh my god.
Oh my god. So where do you want to start?
Where shall we start?
Yeah, so I want to start with Chisato.
Chisato? Yeah.
So this whole anime is about this organization that fights terrorism, and Chisato. One of the things about her that you get to halfway through is that she like dies or something, and then this Yoshi, what the fuck is his name? I'm just gonna call him Yoshi. This guy named Yoshi puts an artificial heart in her body that is like a machine heart or something, and so because she is saved by him, she feels like she can't kill other people because he saved her. He clearly wants her to kill people because he says so, but like, but because she was saved by him, she doesn't want to kill people. And the reason why I said that I didn't really buy it before was because it's just not a very coherent reason to not want to kill people. Like Kenshin does the same thing, right? Kenshin from Rurouni Kenshin, he doesn't want to kill people, so he uses a reverse bladed sword. So he's hitting people with the dull side of the sword all the time. But he also is trying to atone for slaughtering like 1,000 people during the Meiji restoration. So I get it, but like just because you basically had a surgery that like saved you doesn't mean that you like can't kill people. Was that coherent enough for you?
I guess I can understand. Yes. It's the main thing that she wants now, that her life has been saved by this miraculous thing that has happened to her, is that she wants to help people. She wants to save people. And so they take that to an extreme. Like, she will not kill anyone. But I guess you can make the argument that she could help people by killing bad people. But and I can understand where you're coming from, but at least it's not as irritating as some other media is. Like I feel like people in general could have like a distaste for, like, of course people have a distaste for killing other people, but, I feel like there is a real reason to want to not to avoid it as much as possible. And I can understand her taking that stance. And at least she has the superior abilities and capabilities to avoid it, so she can like subdue them in other ways. So at least it's not in Platinum End where nothing happens because he doesn't want to kill people. Things happen and she just avoids doing it.
Let me ask you another question.
Yeah.
I am not always good at this because sometimes I'm watching anime, I'm very distracted, but I didn't think the plot line in this was delivered very coherently. The whole, like, the motivations of the killer, all these different organizations that are supposedly fighting the terrorism. You know, I had to literally rewatch the scene. So there's a scene in this where Chisato is like sneaking around at some bar, and she's listening to Yoshi, the guy that saved her, and the guy who runs the Lycoris Recoil cafe. I can't remember his name either. His name is Mika, and they're talking about how he saved her, and I didn't get that at all. I had to rewatch that scene like 3 times, and then she realizes that he saved her, but I must have missed something from before that, for example, because that dialogue, even after I watched it several times, was incoherent to me, and I couldn't actually understand what the fuck was going on. And maybe that's just me.
I don't remember it being that difficult. Maybe it was something that you missed because, okay, so he's from the Allen Institute. Yoshi is.
Yeah,
and he recognized that she has a very good talent for
killing.
Yeah, even though she doesn't like killing people. I don't know if she actually killed people when she was a kid or not, or how much she did. But anywho, so he recognized she has a talent for this, and he wants to make sure that talent doesn't disappear. So he organizes a doctor with experimental ideas on an artificial heart, and since she doesn't have any parents, she would make for a great experiment. So they give her the artificial heart. It works well. And he expects her to then carry through with what he believes to be her purpose in the world, which is to kill people. Even though I think that was really stupid. Like, Yoshi was stupid. I didn't like him because he just seemed like this really zealous person that was like, how dare a little girl who is grateful for her life not want to kill people? And why wouldn't she automatically go through with this path in life that he never set her on? Like, what made him think that she would just automatically want to tear like people apart? It's like a really strange assumption that he'd make for her life. And yet he has no part to play in it. Although I guess he's assumed that Mika would support her being more ruthless and being bloodthirsty in a certain way, but he didn't because Mika likes Chisato and thinks of her as a daughter and grew emotionally to love her. So for that reason, he's pissed at Mika.
Well, Yoshi seemed like a crazy motherfucker for most of this.
Yeah, he was. Because he put the heart into his body, and he's like, you gotta kill me now, otherwise you're gonna die. And I'm like, this is so stupid. The whole Allen Institute thing, the Allen Institute was not good. It just it was not explained well, and even if it was, I don't think it would have been all that interesting.
I will say that I gotta throw some positives in there. The art and animation, really great, honestly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wow. Like top tier. People love this anime, and I'm seeing a trend here because I keep watching these anime where the art is phenomenal and everything else, not everything else, but like a lot of the other things about it, I'm like, like what, like so, like, I just think that people are giving high scores online for anime that look good and don't care about much else. I'm starting to arrive at this decision because there are definitely anime like this one where if this thing didn't look as good as it did, people would definitely not be giving it 8.5s on my anime list. 8.5 is a high fucking score.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably a major factor in people really liking the show is that it's so pleasant to look at, which I don't think is a bad thing. Like,
it's not.
Yeah, because there's a lot of enjoyment to derive from something looking really good in feeling interesting.
100%.
And like Their character designs are really good. I just cannot get over how cute Chisato and Takina are. I love Takina's hair. I'm living for it. It's kind of like Hyoka. Like, what's her name in Hyoka? I don't know why I'm making comparisons with hair. But anyway, so they look great.
They do.
And yeah, actually, one thing I don't really notice in a lot of anime are voice acting performances, but this one I, for whatever reason, was obsessed with. Like, Chisato and Takina's voice actresses were so good.
In the dub or the sub?
The sub.
Got it.
Like, it's harder to tell with subs rather than dubs, but like in this show, like they had such a personality in just the voices. And Takina, when she got like excited one time, I think she beat Chisato in rock paper scissors, and then she let out this little squeal, which is the cutest thing I've ever heard. It like cured diseases. This laughter she emitted from her mouth.
It's Patch Adams.
Patch Adams?
Yeah, the movie with Robin Williams.
Jelly Bean. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's just his movie. It's a Robin Williams movie where he like cures people with comedy. Basically, he's like a doctor, but he tells a lot of jokes and is like lightens people's spirits with like humor, and then helps them recover and stuff.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it was like a joke that really made it, but it was like just the voice acting performances were very good, even coming from a person who doesn't understand Japanese.
Yeah, I agree. I watched the dub for most of this, and I continually get annoyed by dubs because they're just not finished. Like, this show has been done for quite a while, and the dub is still like months from being done. Like, what the fuck? Who is gonna wait around for these dubs to finish? Like, honestly, why even do them? I mean, when like something comes out on Netflix, they binge it in like 3 minutes, like one day. Like Edge Runner comes out on Netflix, boom, done. Everyone's done. It came out. And
that's because Netflix is such a massive conglomerate that they automatically dub everything that they make.
No, that's not even what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, even if it wasn't dubbed and it was put out all at once, people would binge it immediately and be done with it. If you go on Crunchyroll and watch and look this up, this anime still only has 9 episodes, and the 9th one just came out like today. So you're looking at another month at least before this thing gets done, and I'm just wondering, like, who is going to sit around and wait until like 5 months? When the hell did this thing conclude? It came out on. It started in.
I think it was like September. It concluded
September 24th. So this thing's a month finished. So basically, people would have to wait 2 months after it's done to watch it fully dubbed. And I'm just like, first of all, I hate having to switch midway because it just throws me off. But like, good Lord, like, people don't want to wait 5 days. Why? How in the fuck are they going to wait 2 months?
Oh, I think they can survive. I think it has to do with the business aspect of it all. I don't think it's them wanting to miss out on money on that. But another scene that I just thought of where the voice acting was just really good.
Yeah.
Sorry to bring it back.
No,
Again with Takina, and when Yoshi was getting away, because she is more ruthless than Chisato, and she's willing to kill this man to get a heart for Chisato because, you know, she's her best friend. And like Chisato holds her back because she doesn't want to kill Yoshi for this heart. She just doesn't. And then Takina lets out this like really emotional scream, just trying to get to Yoshi and to kill him, and she tries to get Chisato out of this situation she's in. And it's just so damn good. I'm like, holy crap, Takina, I love you. Even though at first I thought she was just going to be another bland character.
I know it's Tsundere. Yeah.
Yeah. He really turned it around. Like, her character growth was very good. Now, what else should we talk about? Because I do have quite a few things I would like. Yeah. Negative things that I would like to get to.
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, I thought the first half of this anime was really good. It started to lose me around episode 8. I don't know. It just, like, the whole plot line is a little dry for me, and the villain is terrible. So, and there's some stupid stuff in here. Like, for example, I'll just run through them. Like, 1, why is the hacker guy's head a robot head?
Because we can't.
Because
it's
like, anime.
You just need to have silly mascot-looking characters.
But I hate that.
I knew you would hate this.
I hate it. It's
like, the moment
stupid.
I saw Walnut wearing a stupid costume, I'm like, this.
Like, look, I am 37. I'm a 37-year-old man, and like guys dressed with having robot heads is not appealing to me. To me, you're gonna.
I can't see how that's comfortable to wear when you're in a room by yourself.
Well, I mean, was his neck not like pencil size? I mean, how the fuck does he even like? I mean, is it even a real? So I'm literally questioning if he's even a real human or not, because his head is like. I guess he does have a neck on my anime list picture, but yeah. So like, I'm pretty consistent with this. When there's like, rabbit, like when there's like Fumafu, the Amagi Brilliant Park, any of these shows with like mascots, I'm out, honestly. So I didn't appreciate that. Running through the list here. Yes, the squirrel was stupid. The green-haired guy, the villain, his name is Majima. How in the fuck does this guy survive all this shit? The first time
I don't know.
The first time he should have
really
died
don't.
was... See, like, this is where people will say, oh, he's got a special, like, ability to hear things, so he, like, dodged the explosion with his hearing. Like, give me a break. This guy was standing next to a car. He was basically touching, like, the side mirror of it. They fired a rocket-propelled grenade at the car, and the car exploded. He's point blank at the explosion. A hand grenade is lethal within, like, 100 feet pretty consistently, I'm told. This guy would be blown into smithereens. Like, he would be pieces, honestly. Even if the car hadn't exploded, the rocket-propelled grenade would have killed him with shrapnel. Plus he's blown like 100 feet and lands like in some water or something. And then at the end of the anime, he basically falls from like 3,000 feet and somehow survives. What?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, we
fuck?
don't see him survive, but they are certainly insinuating that he'll be back. And also the fact that he doesn't get hit with real bullets, but he's hit with like a dozen rubber bullets. And yeah, that might not kill you, but a dozen rubber bullets, you are out for the count. You are bruised at that point.
For sure.
So badly bruised.
And he gets shot in the...
cannot be doing what he's doing.
And he gets shot in the head, too. And you'll notice that when she's shooting the underlings, they go down in one shot. But this guy takes he takes 6, 7, 15, 25 bullets, and he's just like, fine. Like, what in the fuck?
He gets away in so many like dire, like he's tied down when Chisato fights with him that one time. He's tied down and he gets away somehow. We don't know how. He just does. And it's like they do that a lot. Like, you don't know how this one thing happened, but it just does. Like Takina, when she interrupts Chisato's and Majima's fight, she bursts into the building. She creates a hole in this barrier that is around the building, blocking out the sunlight. This is like 1,000 feet in the air. How did she get there? She's like jumping through and kicking a hole through the barrier. How? We don't know. Where's she jumping from? We don't know. How'd she get up there? We don't know. How'd she know they were there? We don't know.
Yeah. I mean, so I get it. Like, it's anime, whatever. But these sorts of shows are grounded in some level of reality. Like, they're based about, we take these girls, we train them, we give them weapons. It's basically a terrorism, like, police versus the terrorist action show.
Yeah.
So to be utterly unbelievable, it's not much of a fantasy show. It's not much of a sci-fi show. There's not a lot in here that is like fantasy or requires my suspension of disbelief. So when a guy...
Honestly, it's based in a lot of real conspiracy theories.
Oh, such as?
There's a secret organization that... Well, I mean, not any one conspiracy theory in particular, but there are many conspiracy theories of, secret organizations killing evildoers before you even know it happens,
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure that happens all the time with, like, the CIA and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much covers a lot of the stuff that I wanted to say. The show, to me, is fine. I didn't think the plotline was very inspiring. I love all the in-between images of the girls because they're really cute, and they definitely, like, they do lewd them a little bit in the in-betweens, but it's... Yeah. Laying them on beds and stuff with, like, it's a little unnecessary.
Yeah, I noticed that. That was.
It doesn't bother me too much. They all look cute. Everybody knows that half the audience is here for the cute girls anyway, so you might as well give them what they want. That's why it's called fan service. But all in all, it was okay. But like, I want to hear more about what you. I know you have a lot of points here on the document.
Okay. So Majima, I feel like had some good moments, and at some points I'm like, oh yeah, like I can understand wanting to like tell the public about the secret organization that, you know, follows their own rules and you don't even know about them. You're like, they're keeping secrets away from the public of things that actually happen. I can understand wanting to show that to the people, even if they are doing it for good reasons. But then on the other hand, he's completely goofy. Like he honestly, when I first saw him, I thought he was a My Hero. He just looked the part. He sounded the part. He sounded really goofy at times. So he was okay in some moments and then just really goofy in the next. Most supporting characters I idolized. Like, you would think that trained assassins, even if they are, you know, high school girl A's, you would think that trained assassins would make these girls any more mature than the most immature high school girl, Mean Girl. Like, I watched any scene with them in, they were just so irritating. They're like, oh my god, Takina, you broke the rules, and now you are nobody. And I'm looking at this, can you please be a little bit more mature than this?
Oh my god. You mean like are you talking about the beginning when they're like all catty with each other at the school or whatever?
Yeah, they're just so freaking catty. I'm like, come on. Like, and yes, high school girls, but there are many high school girls that are way more mature than that. So they can at least act a little bit more like it. And they're doing this in front of their high commander, and she doesn't think that this is anything to reprimand. Like, come on, act a little bit more professional.
Like oh my god, can you like act your age and not your gun caliber? Like, for real.
Yeah, I'm just, it's just so stupid. And every single time they pop up on screen, they act that same way. And then we can get to the other plot holes that I have yet to be mentioned. How are Chisato and Takina being hired as armed bodyguards and not seen as suspicious? Like, the woman, she saw them in their uniforms. She saw them with their guns. They have made references of she was literally protected by them. Like, she knows what she hired them to do. But they're still a secret organization? Because how? And also the police all know that these girls in these uniforms are allowed to carry guns, and they know about their activities. And yet the two police detectives seem very aware of that, even though they say a million times the police know and they will shoot you if you are not wearing this uniform. So which is it? And also, if all the police know about this secret organization, how is it still a secret? Okay, and also, these uniforms are super conspicuous. Like, all red and all blue. And then the characters that don't matter, they all wear white because they don't matter. And like, you don't see a lot of schoolgirl uniforms that look like that. They just look very specialized, and people are bound to notice. And they're bound to make notice of these girls wearing these uniforms that are polyglots and are apparently incredible at everything. And they're going to wonder, why are they not in school? Why? What are they? Who are they? Why are they geniuses?
Polyglot?
Yeah, they know multiple languages.
Oh, okay.
So they seem so identifiable and so conspicuous that you can't tell me that people don't think that these guys are a little strange. And also a very, very small moment that I'm just like, wait a minute, what? With all the resources that the DA has, they depend on two Lycoris agents, two high school aged girls with no art skills whatsoever. They expect them to draw their suspect accurately? They cannot hire a sketch artist for their very important thing. They draw like these really like childish depictions of Majima because they don't know what he looks like, but Chisato and Takina have seen him. So they're like, draw them for us. And they expect anything more than what they got. And if it's this important, surely there is a sketch artist that they can hire for this particular situation.
For sure.
It's just, and that's when it gets goofy. Like they trade somewhat realistic things to propel the story for goofiness. And also the Japanese public is incredibly gullible. I don't know how I don't know how they believe that story at the end.
Well, I mean, it goes further than that. I mean, like, so they're like trained killers, and Chisato is shooting these rubber bullets, right? But you would think that after she shot the green Majima, like for the 33rd time with the rubber bullets, to no effect whatsoever, she's like having a close quarters gunfight with this guy, and you would think you would just like retreat because your bullets don't work. Like, if your gun doesn't work, what are you doing? Like, he's gonna kill you eventually. Also, I'm pretty sure she like arm tackled a guy that weighed like 150 pounds more than her at one point towards the end, and there's no fucking way. She like this huge guy that was in a prison cell, and he's like probably close to 300 pounds, and she's like maybe 100 pounds, and she grabs him and manages to like overpower him, and I'm like, girl, you would literally not move him 1 inch. She just like
I don't remember exactly how it happened, but there are like martial skills.
There's no, I know, but I understand, Caroline,
using momentum and all that.
Yeah, I understand, but there's no freaking way. Like she's, I don't know.
I can't remember exactly how it happened, but I can see somewhat like a reason for that. Well, but
like if you and I were having a gun battle and you were shooting me repeatedly and it wasn't effective, you have nothing else. I mean, are you going to retreat? Because I'm going to kill you for sure. Because my gun, I assume my bullets will kill you. They're real. And then your bullets don't do anything. It's like you're shooting me with a water gun. Like, maybe you should leave. Like, honestly, like you're a trained killer. You got to know when you should retreat, because your stupid rubber bullets don't work. And plus,
yeah, and also, why did Chisato go? Okay, so she left her bag in the old radio building, right? They are now in the new radio building. They are going down in the elevator. The door, like, and all of a sudden she sees her bag as the door is about to close, and she's like, "Oh, my bag! I lost this." She knows she lost it in the other radio tower. There's no reason for that bag to be there except for the fact that her opponent somehow got loose and is now in the new radio building. Why did she think that was not a trap? That is just so stupid. And also, I feel like there was just way too many like back and forth between the two radio buildings. Too many battles with Majima. I feel like once we saw that final battle, we've seen this battle 3 times in it now.
Yeah, that's why I said like around episode 8 or 9, I got kind of tired of it because, you know, I don't know, it's the same thing. It just wouldn't end. I think it's just it became kind of interminable. And plus, like, why are you gonna have a gunfight with a guy? You can't kill him. He basically fell from outer space and survived. I mean,
honestly, that's kind of, yeah, he is that kind of character. He just cannot be killed.
You're gonna hit terminal velocity within, I don't know, a few hundred feet, 1,000 feet. I mean, he may have fallen out of like the U.S. out of like the ISSR, because I mean, and then he, like, why are you even fighting him? He's immortal. You can't kill him. He was blown up by a rocket propelled grenade, which would have had him in like 100 pieces. And then he fell out of like he fell from like 2,000 feet, and I assume hit the concrete. Even if he landed in water, it would be basically concrete at that speed. So why are you even bothering to fight him? Like, he's just gonna, he can't be killed. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't hate the anime though. I mean, like, you know, I was enjoying it.
As much as I like ripped it apart right there with my rants, I didn't hate it either.
It's just utterly implausible. I mean, everything about it. I mean, it would have made a lot more sense if they, you know, had given Chisato real bullets and had made Majima a little more elusive rather than just like being so easy to find and shoot at, you know, and don't blow him up with a rocket propelled grenade, because at that point I'm just like, come on. At that point, you know he's not gonna die, because it's like, if that isn't going to take him out, nothing will. So
you picked up on the sexual tension between Majima and Chisato, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Which is funny, because he's like a mass murderer who killed her friends.
Well, he's a psychopath for sure. I mean, at the end there, like, she's like having a heart attack or whatever at the end, and he's like, "All right, time for a timeout. Let's have some like juice boxes while you recover." Oh, yeah. And then he's like, right back to like smashing her face.
Another plot hole. Please, okay, sorry. Okay, so he started this countdown for the explosion, and it was like an hour. Like the explosion was going to happen in an hour. And then splash forward, they're now fighting. The countdown now says 25 minutes. They've been fighting like with all their heart for 35 minutes. And then they have a sit down. Then they have that chat with the sodas, right? And apparently they're like trying out these different sodas. And so it looks like they've been chatting for a while. And yet the countdown timer still says like 10 minutes or something like that. And then all of a sudden it gets dark, as if that few minutes really changed. Like the timing just did not work for me. And it's also taking Takina way too long to get there. If they've been doing this for 35 minutes and she's still not there, because she started running like around the time it started. And then also, why fireworks instead of an actual explosion? Was that meant to happen? Did he make a mistake? Why did he plan fireworks?
I don't know. It
didn't make sense.
This is definitely the anime for people who don't think about the things in it that don't make sense. For example, like, okay, she's Sato. She wears like a schoolgirl outfit the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, they're having this gunfight where they're firing bullets at each other constantly for 30 minutes, as you say. Don't you think you'd need like 1,000 rounds of ammo?
Probably.
Where are you going to keep all that ammo? In your fucking skirt?
And apparently, according to Takina, Chisato is known to waste bullets. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, because she does the finances at one point, right? And she's like, "Oh, you can't shoot all these bullets," but you know, first of all, if you had like non-red smoke creating rubber bullets, they might be cheaper than the regular bullets. But I think this is an anime for people who really like to have just like a lighthearted action show with girls and don't really consider the things in it that make sense and don't make sense. Like people maybe don't realize that a rocket propelled grenade exploding 3 feet from you would, you know, maybe they think you could survive that. I don't know. Maybe you don't even consider it. Maybe that's for those types of people. But for me, I rolled my eyes and was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. This guy was just blown like 1,000 feet up into the air because he got fucking blown up. He might as well have been shot with a tank cannon at that point. You know, and so I think this is more of an anime for people that just want to have like a lighthearted action show with some cute girls.
And who has the ability to just not think about certain things. Because I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I just overthink about things and it ruins it for me, which people can probably know by now.
And also who prioritize good-looking animation and art over everything.
Yeah. Because
there's if the art in the show was about as equal to the plot line, then I don't think very many people would be watching it because it wouldn't appeal to people, you know. But like this show is one of the better looking animes of the summer, and you know, looks awesome. So and it is fun. It is fine. It moves well. It needs to because of the action scenes. But I'm just gonna score it. I'm gonna give it a 3. Fucking A. Fucking 3. I don't know. 3 walnuts. I have no idea. I got nothing. 3 walnuts.
All right. Well, overall, I thought this anime was okay. Even if I ranted about it more than I loved it, according to the review. You know, it looks great. The main characters are really what's keeping this show afloat for me. Like, the characters in the main cast are good. The supporting cast, not so much. And also, I can also appreciate the fact that they have a relationship between Mika and Yoshi, and it's not like made all about that just because they just happen to be gay for each other, and that's great. And also, I can feel like I kind of wish that Takina and Chisato's relationship became something more like that as well. Maybe that's what they want to do in a second season. And just overall, it was an okay show. It had some really great stuff and some not so really great stuff. And for that, I will give it 3 plot holes out of 5.
I just really dislike the whole Yoshi thing. I don't even understand why he's in it. Like, why does
I don't like Yoshi either.
Why does she need to have an artificial heart? Why does that matter? Why is he a fucking crazy person that doesn't make any sense? Like, if you take the artificial heart out of the anime, does anything change? It's still about Majima being a fucking terrorist. Trying to...
Yeah. I think they just wanted to add stakes to it.
It's just a weird, stupid side plot that makes you want to, like, that makes you worry about, they're like, oh, we have to make people worry about Chisato. How do we do that? She's so unkillable. Oh, let's give her like a Goku-style heart condition that'll like maybe kill her. You know? And then
I don't know. Maybe it was like also partially to add to her character because she very unflappable, you know, and even in the face of like, you know, her oncoming death, she's still very Genki.
She's definitely Genki. Very. And very intensely Genki.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, that's the review of Lycoris Recoil. Maybe I feel like I'm not done talking about this anime, so maybe the after party, but thanks again for tuning in, everybody. That is the end of our show. Again, honestly, if you go to supporttheaddicts.com, if you're going to buy stuff off Amazon, any link you access Amazon through via supporttheaddicts.com, anything you buy on Amazon within 24 hours gets the podcast a royalty. So I'm not telling you have to go do that. I'm just saying if you're going to go to Amazon anyway, you might as well help out the podcast. Speaking of which, AAA podcast/join will get you to, so if you want to subscribe and get our extra content, as well as Patreon. We're also on Twitter. We're on Facebook. The Discord really is where you ought to be because the Discord is, you know, where most of the people are. And that's the exciting place to be, I'd say, for the podcast. And Caroline would like
we're watching another this week. We're watching another for Anime
God.
Club. Or we're discussing it another for Anime Club.
So
you think
sorry.
of a better movie or show to watch for Halloween. There are not many options. But yes, if you are listening live, then you are still able to join us 10 p.m. EDT on our Discord. And if you are listening to this recorded version, then join us for next time for whatever show that we plan to watch. Yeah, and that's really fun. And I hope you guys join the Anime Club and join our Discord for all discussions. And we will see you next week. Not with Mitsugi, though.
No, Mitsugi will be in Florida attending Halloween Horror Nights at Universal. But we will be starting our fall impressions next week. So definitely Caroline and Mason will be.
Mine.
You guys are going to carry the load there. I know it, and you do a great job. So everybody, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.